Why is it that the moment you experience a spiritual awakening, the moment you step into higher consciousness, you suddenly find yourself surrounded by noise, nonsense, and distractions that feel like stupid energy crashing into your peace? It almost feels like a trap, as if every step you take toward clarity invites a storm of ignorance to test your patience. You're not imagining this. Spiritual growth always attracts stupid energy, because higher awareness is like a spotlight in the darkness, and wherever light shines, everything hidden in the shadows rushes toward it. This isn't punishment. This isn't bad luck. This is proof that you are rising, because only those who carry wisdom attract such resistance. What you're really experiencing is the friction between two worlds, the world of higher consciousness and the world of unconscious noise. And friction always sparks heat. The more you grow, the more you glow, the more that glow disturbs what refuses to evolve. Think of it this way. You're like a radio tuned to a higher frequency, clear, sharp, resonating with awareness. But the moment that signal gets stronger, static tries to invade. People around you who haven't touched that level of clarity feel uneasy in your presence. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your silence reflects their chaos. Your growth exposes their stagnation, and your energy makes their insecurities louder. They don't understand why your calm bothers them. They don't understand why your self-control irritates them, but they feel it. So they attack, they mock, they gossip, or they try to pull you into arguments that don't matter. They think they're disturbing you, but in truth, they're revealing themselves. This is the pattern of stupid energy. It feeds on attention, it thrives on reaction, and when you refuse to fuel it, it collapses under its own emptiness. But here's the mystery. Why does stupid energy always chase those who awaken? The answer lies in the nature of awakening itself. When you step into higher consciousness, you become a mirror. People see themselves in you whether they want to or not. Some feel inspired and uplifted. Others feel threatened and exposed. The insecure mind hates to face its own reflection, and so instead of working on itself, it lashes out at the mirror. That's why when you embody wisdom, ignorance tries to pull you down. Not because you're weak, but because your strength reminds others of the work they refuse to do. The funny thing is, if you weren't growing, they wouldn't care about you at all. Stupid energy only chases those who shine. Nobody ever tries to block the path of someone standing still. Resistance only rises when you're moving forward. And let's be honest, sometimes it almost feels absurd. You could be sitting quietly, minding your own business, protecting your peace, and suddenly someone shows up with unnecessary drama, desperate to pull you into their storm. They bait you with comments, they provoke you with behavior, and they push, hoping you'll react. It's like they can't stand to see you unbothered. They feed on your attention the way fire feeds on oxygen. But here's the awakening. The fire dies without oxygen, and stupidity dies without your energy. The moment you refuse to react, you break the cycle. Your silence becomes your weapon, your self-control becomes your shield, and your clarity becomes their confusion. What feels like an attack is actually proof of your power. You are untouchable not because the world stops being foolish, but because you stop being available to it. Spiritual growth is not just about finding peace. It's about learning how to protect that peace when surrounded by noise. And stupid energy is nothing but noise. Imagine a barking dog at night. You don't bark back to prove you're not a dog. You don't waste your time howling to prove your strength. You simply close the window, go to sleep, and let the barking fade into irrelevance. That's the mindset of higher consciousness. You don't fight every distraction. You don't answer every insult. You don't lower your frequency to meet ignorance at its level. You rise, you observe, you smile, and you continue forward. Because deep down you know that energy flows where attention goes, and giving your attention to stupidity is the fastest way to drain your own power. But let's go deeper. Why does ignoring stupidity feel so hard? Because as humans we crave validation. We want to be understood. We want to be respected. We want people to see our truth. And when someone denies that truth, when they treat your wisdom as foolishness, you feel the urge to fight, to prove, to argue. That's the trap. That's how stupid energy wins. It doesn't win by being smarter. It wins by pulling you into its arena, by lowering you from higher consciousness into emotional chaos. But the awakening is realizing you never needed their validation to begin with. Your truth does not depend on their recognition. The sun doesn't need people to believe in it to shine. The ocean doesn't need approval to exist. And your wisdom doesn't need an audience to be real. The higher you rise, the less you explain. Silence becomes your statement, distance becomes your power, and peace becomes your proof. There's also a hidden lesson here. Stupid energy isn't just a test, it's also a teacher. Every time someone throws nonsense your way, you have two options: lose your balance or strengthen it. Every insult is an invitation to practice detachment. Every provocation is a chance to practice self-control. Every distraction is a test of how much you've actually grown. Because spiritual awakening is not proven in meditation, in books, or in theory. It's proven in the fire of daily life, in the way you respond when ignorance knocks at your door. Anyone can feel wise in silence, but true wisdom shows when silence is attacked. Anyone can feel strong when undisturbed, but true strength shows when you choose not to be disturbed. This is why stupid energy comes for you. It is the weight that builds your spiritual muscle. And isn't it almost ironic? The very people who try to pull you down are actually pushing you higher. Every distraction you ignore sharpens your focus. Every attack you don't respond to deepens your peace. Every trap you walk past instead of falling into builds your discipline. Without even realizing it, stupid energy becomes the sharpening stone for your soul. You don't rise despite it, you rise because of it. The same way a diamond is formed under pressure, your higher consciousness is refined by the challenges that test it. The noise you thought was a curse turns out to be the training ground for your clarity. What was meant to destroy you actually trains you to be unshakable. And let's be real, sometimes stupid energy is almost entertaining. You'll notice people getting angry at things that don't even concern them, wasting energy on gossip that doesn't affect their lives, and fighting battles that don't even exist. It's like watching someone punch water and wonder why their fists are always wet. The awakened mind sees this and doesn't take it personally. You realize their fight is not with you, it's with themselves. You just happen to be the mirror that makes them notice their reflection. And when you understand this, you stop being offended. You start seeing their behavior as noise, not truth. You begin to laugh at the absurdity instead of suffering from it. That's when you've really stepped into power, when their noise no longer shakes your inner silence. Remember this, stupid energy will always circle around wisdom because energy always seeks balance. Light draws darkness, growth draws resistance, peace draws disturbance. But none of this can overpower you unless you hand it your attention. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. You decide what enters. You decide what stays. You decide whether noise becomes music or just fades into silence. And when you learn to guard your energy with intention, you realize something powerful. Stupid energy doesn't follow you because you're weak. It follows you because you're strong. Nobody bothers chasing emptiness. They only chase what shines. If they are fighting you, it means you matter. If they are trying to distract you, it means your focus is dangerous to their comfort. If they are mocking you, it means your presence is a threat to their illusions. So the next time you feel surrounded by nonsense, remember this. It is not a sign of failure. It is proof of progress. It means you are rising. It means you are glowing. It means your energy has reached a level that others can no longer ignore. And instead of being frustrated by it, use it as confirmation. Confirmation that you are walking the right path, that your awakening is real, that your higher consciousness is not just a thought, but a living presence. Don't fight the noise, outgrow it. Don't waste your time proving your worth to those who refuse to see it. Protect your energy the way a lion protects its silence, calm, steady, unbothered. Because the lion doesn't waste time explaining to sheep why it doesn't roar at every sound. It simply knows who it is. And when you know who you are, stupid energy loses its power. In the end, this is the great paradox of awakening. The more you rise, the more resistance you meet, but also the more unstoppable you become. The storm only proves the strength of the tree that stands through it. And you, no matter how much nonsense surrounds you, will not break, because your roots run deep, your clarity runs deeper, and your consciousness is untouchable. So let the noise come, let the static try, let the nonsense swirl around. You are not here to fight it, you are here to outlast it. And you will. If this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Protect your energy, honor your growth, and remember, you don't shine less because of noise, you shine more because of it. If this message spoke to you, like and subscribe, because this journey is just beginning. And together we're rising to higher levels of consciousness and wisdom.